Welcome to the Strenuous Life Radio, the podcast where leaderpreneurs, entrepreneurs, men and women learn the essentials and soft skills of the strenuous life. Hello, everybody. Guess what? We are going back to the essentials. The Lost Art of Manliness, Part 1. Brett McKay. This is from a TEDx talk in Tulsa. Let's hear it for Brett McKay.
Good evening, everyone. Men, I have some bad news for you. You are obsolete. Your testosterone-fueled vim and vigor that has helped explore uncharted territories, construct towering skyscrapers, and build corporate empires is no longer needed in this post-industrial society that we live in. This is a woman's world, men. We're just living in it. At least that's the message we've been hearing a lot lately in the media. If you've been paying attention to the news magazines and the cable talk shows, you've been hearing a lot about the state of American masculinity and how men are struggling today, particularly young men. And inevitably, the authors of these magazine articles, or the people who are heading up these talk show segments, make the conclusion that we need to reinvent masculinity, that men are obsolete, that we don't need them anymore. We saw this in the summer in the Atlantic Monthly. They had a cover story called "The End of Men." Now, as a man, I'd like to think I'm useful to my family, to my community, and I want to stick around. I think you, all the men out here, feel the same way as well. So today what I'm going to talk about is the fact that, yes, men are struggling in America today and across all Western societies. Talk about how they're struggling, why it got us here to the state of men who are disengaging from society, lost ambition, and then what we can do about it, the solution. So how do we get here? Or first, what's the problem? One area is education. Young men and boys are falling behind their female peers in the area of education. More girls than men or boys graduate from high school. More boys are diagnosed with learning disabilities. In the area of post-secondary education, women are outpacing men substantially. Right now in America, men make up only 43% of college enrollment. The number has been declining steadily since the 1950s. And what's interesting, too, is that the men who do go to college, fewer are actually graduating. And education experts have said that this generation of young men between the ages of 20 and 40 are actually less educated than their fathers are, which is crazy. This is the first time this happened in our country where things have actually gotten worse. Where else men are struggling? We've probably heard about young people moving back in with their parents nowadays. These are the boomerang kids. But what's interesting is that men make up the lion's share of this demographic. Right now in America, 1 in 3 American men between the ages of 20 and 34 still live with mom and dad. And this could either be this guy's mom or wife. But for this purpose, we'll say it's their mom. And what's interesting when they do these surveys and they talk to parents and young men aren't in a hurry to leave. And parents are reporting that their sons are using the savings they get from living with them to, instead of paying down debt or save up for a mortgage, they're using it to subsidize a lifestyle of video games, hanging out with friends, and just, extending adolescence. Employment with men. For the first time in our country's history, women outnumber men in the workforce. Now, our current recession has a big contributing factor to this. The sectors that have been hemorrhaging jobs, construction, manufacturing, farming, are traditionally held by men. And things are getting a little bit better, but labor experts are concerned about the future of men in the workforce. With fewer men going to college, with fewer men even taking up trade schools, they're afraid that men are going to be less qualified for the jobs of the future.
And possibly, sadly, less qualified for some of the businesses in the future. You probably wonder, JR, where you getting at? I want to go a little bit more further than Brett McKay. I love what he had to say there, and of course, a lot of Strenuous Life radio and TV we've had on after some things from Brett McKay, and we've become obsolete because of one thing. It's just mine, Jimmy's theory of the James Henry Empowerment Network, and that is we have a reactive culture. And why? Our kids in college high school, less educated than their fathers. Because I'll tell you why. The dumbing down of America. I know some people don't want to hear this. And a lot of it, the sitcoms, the Hollywood, news media, men, virile but terrible, or buffoons. Come on now. We gotta know how men can be men. Why do you think, I'll be honest with you, we talked about some pretty soft skills here, but this is kind of essential. Why do you think I brought up the Texas Tech spirit? Me and Jimmy worked on that. We've been working on that for the past 2 or 3 weeks. And the truth is, we have lost the art of the red-blooded male in America. And why? Sitcoms and things you can see on TV. No role models. Men that are supposed to be in leadership. Always doing something stupid to get themselves in the scandal. So listen to me, we do have a lost art of manliness, and it makes me sad. It makes me sad. You say, well, JR, why is this supposed to make you mad? You're sad. You're pretty virile, man. It makes me sad because, like Jimmy, I'm tender-hearted. But I'll tell you something else. It also makes me very mad. I remember 60s and 70s. Men were men and manly. But now, Hollywood, news media, men's visceral behavior is no longer to be tolerated. And well, men are in need of a remedy. Now with that, I hope you enjoy this Strenuous Life Radio. If y'all like what y'all hear, please subscribe, become a part of Strenuous Life Radio Network family. And it's J.R. Hendricks. Until next time, do what others don't so you can be what others won't. And do what others won't so you can have what others can't. And like my daddy always said, think strong, live strong, and live the strenuous life. God bless y'all. Y'all take care now, you hear? Y'all are good people.